Hi everyone, and welcome to the first video of my channel for Savvy Craft Co. I make a bunch of 3D printed miniatures, and I'm so excited to finally start sharing them with the community. The miniature that I'll be making today and showing you how I'm customizing it is an entry table shoe rack that is at the 1/12 or full scale. So I'll be using a few different materials today. One is tacky glue to glue the templates on, another pair of scissors, of course, to cut, and then I also have a utility knife to get a nice clean line. If you like what you see, these are available at my Etsy storefront, which I also just started up. If you need just the STL file, you can get it and it'll print just like this. Nice, easy to set up. It'll print the table separate from the shoe rack, and it'll be as easy as popping it on, using some tacky glue, and there you have it. If you need a physical shipment to you, maybe you don't have a 3D printer, I can also do that as well. Again, this is also my Etsy shop. I'll print the table legs separate from the tabletop, and then the shoe rack will also print separate as well, so that way I can ship it in a way that makes sense so that it doesn't break in transit. So as you see here, I've already sanded and primed and painted the bottom black just for a nice clean look. There is of course some overlay on paint here, but that doesn't matter because we're going to use a template on the tabletop. So the template that I'm using is a nice free one that I've included in the link below. You will have to create this file yourself by extending the template, as I'm not allowed to. But let's go ahead and get started making this wooden tabletop. So I'll place this here, and what I'm going to do first is just get a nice rough idea for how much of this template I need. So I'm drawing on the sides here, giving myself enough space to make sure that I can actually cut this out and not have any worries about not having enough. So I'll go ahead and cut that out. Okay, as you see here, now I have a nice size that I can use to create this tabletop. Now I'm going to do an eye measurement. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. This is just my method. I'll just position the table, and I'm going to actually make creases in the paper. And because this is just regular copy paper, I'm not too worried about leaving a line because I know I'm going to be cutting and gluing these pieces. So there, now I've creased the paper and I know roughly where I need to cut, so I'm going to do a second rough cut. Okay, now I'm going to just measure it again, just to make sure I know exactly how I want to glue it down. Now I'm going to mark exactly where the first fold is, so I know how I want to do the glue, just so I don't get any excess on the model itself. So let me set that to the side, and now it's time to grab the tacky glue. So all I'm doing here, you only need a very light amount of glue. Tacky glue can hold pretty well. So I'm going to do the tabletop first. Just nice, even, thin glue. I like to do a grid pattern just because I feel like it makes it more durable. And again, I'm using a very little amount of glue. And then I'm going to take a card and I'm just going to flatten that glue across the top. All right, now I'm going to position so I know exactly where the piece needs to go. And just press. And just going to let that dry. The next step is to check my folds one last time before I commit to gluing them down, and also prepping those edge pieces so that way it folds cleanly. Now I'm going to grab the glue and just start gluing the edges down. And now I'm just going to repeat this on the other 3 sides. Working with the edges, I've decided to cut them shorter and then just tuck in the ends. And there you have it, your almost completed entry table with a shoe rack. Now the very last thing that we need to do is to finish off by sealing both the top piece and the bottom. So now it's time to seal. I'm going to be using a different mixture of sealants. Sealing is important because it allows your piece to last for many times to come. If you don't seal, the paint can scratch off, or you can accidentally mess with the paper and scratch it off, so this is a very important last step. For the top piece, I'm going to be using a matte Mod Podge just because I don't want anything to be too shiny. And then for the bottom piece, I'm going to be using this Deco Art Triple Thick Gloss just to give it that nice finished reflective metal look. So let's get started. And then you're going to let it sit and completely dry. The final step is to seal the tabletop with the Mod Podge in the matte finish. And then let sit to dry. You now have your finished product, which is your entry table with a shoe rack that has a nice pine wood finish at the top. If you like this video and are interested in having one of your own entry tables, you can head on over to my Etsy, which is linked below. And until next time.